Hello and welcome to another episode of Court of Swords. We've got sunny skies. There's no tornado this week. It's going to be great.
Hooray!
I can actually focus on role-playing and not fear for my life.
That's nice.
So that's always a good thing.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good episode.
Nice to be back at home.
Yeah, Zeke's home. He's no longer... They let him go from that casting couch situation. He got out of there.
Yeah.
He was scathed, but he's still alive. You know, he didn't get out unscathed. It's okay.
Relatively.
Yeah, it's all right.
Back.
I'm looking forward to your new career, Zeke. I'm looking forward to seeing you more in the future.
Look, he saw that. I was gonna take this one direction. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna.
Let's not involve One Direction.
Yeah.
Let's keep One
you,
Direction
Adam.
out of this completely.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I'm gonna self-edit that, and I'm not gonna say that.
So how does it feel, Zeke, having things taken out of your mouth instead of the
Well,
sensitive information?
like we said before, my mouth is also One Direction.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh boy,
And that's in.
Nice. I see the dick jokes have not stopped after last night's one shot, Zeke. They keep flowing over there, just nonstop.
Man, I love playing with new players.
Yeah.
And just seeing because if people haven't played D&D before, they're just gonna go buck wild. And
Right.
they kept it. I mean, they kept it to a nice, happy medium and stuff, but
Well, you
it got a little weird with the dick shots.
Yeah, I think you lucked out in the sense that there were a couple players that were like trying to take it that ridiculous direction that sometimes happens in a first episode or first time playing. But then you had two other people that were like into their characters and were like trying to do a little bit of the role playing aspect, and there was a good balance there because they kind of kept them in check.
And by the end of it, everybody seemed to get really into it, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I had to curb there was one of the
I know where you're
people
going
wanted to
with this.
name their character Cheesecake McCheeseface,
Yeah.
and I said, do you have your heart set on that? Because I don't mind if everybody is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind if everybody's doing it. If we're gonna do something like totally ridiculous, that's fine. But if you're the only one, it's gonna feel weird not only for the audience but eventually for you.
Right.
So we had a compromise where he was obsessed with, or not obsessed, but like he really liked cheesecake, and he asked for it at the local tavern.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting like a block of cheese mashed into a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
See, and the producer side of that is Zeke didn't tell me that this name change happened until about 30 minutes before I checked the character sheets of the show starting. So I had to change all the overlays. Granted, that was probably the least of Zeke's concerns at that point because he was pretty probably the most nervous I've seen Zeke in a long time prior to any production stuff that we've done. So I just let it slide.
For sure.
Yeah, it was.
I told Adam
yeah, I mean,
before
I
the
think
show, I said, Adam, we all know that pimping ain't easy, but you know what else ain't easy? DMing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those things like with a one shot. Yeah, if the tone is fairly light and everyone has bought into that, you can have the dick jokes and the like cornball attitude from the players. And if everybody's on board and the GM is the only person who's like, I'm trying to tell a serious story, you can do that too, because sometimes the role of the GM is like the straight man, right? The players are being goofy and ridiculous, and the universe is like, no, we're a serious universe, and people get killed and bad things happen, and the players are just like, whatever, it's funny. But it is really hard when you are Sir Alec Guinness and everyone else is in Star Wars, and you're just like, oh God, what have I done? Like, why am I here?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a delicate balance.
I don't know what that's
Well,
like
and
being
that's-
silly in a D&D game.
Well, like,
That's what I
there's
want to like
definitely-
reiterate. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say there's definitely room for it. And there's even room for like silly episodes in a more serious storyline, or like a single goofy character as like comic relief or whatever. But like, yeah, it can be in a campaign, that kind of shit is exhausting. And the worst thing is when someone is stuck with a character who is like a one-note joke and you're 10 sessions and you're like, yeah, is that dumb name still funny? You still like that? Because I told you weren't going to like it. And they're like, I'm Dick Cheese McGee. It's funny. And you're like, no one is laughing. No one. And they're just like, oh, okay, well.
And you got to go through that
fucking
rigmarole every time with an NPC. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was your name? and then the NPC's got to look at him funny and say something, like ask a question about it, and like that kind of shit. So you got to go through that every time. Now,
Like having your.
let me reiterate, like
Right.
I wouldn't mind it if the whole squad was just goofy and absurd. That would have been totally fine. But I think it benefited everybody to have at least everybody a little bit on the same page. And I've seen that fall apart, just like Adam said. I've seen that happen before.
I think the more tragic thing is when you are all on the same page, and then because as a GM, sometimes you have to either come up with character names like on the fly really quick, or you come up with them and you didn't workshop them with anybody, and you say the name of the character and you don't realize that it sounds like something else that's funny. Like you accidentally name a character like Phallus or something, and they're like, what's his name? You're like, it's Phallus, Lord Phallus, and they're like, cool, okay. I'm like, God damn it, shit. And you can't just like,
Dude.
Actually, you know what? I changed it. His name is something else. It's Lord Cool of Castle Doom. Fuck. Shut up, guys. I hate this game.
Castle
But I think
Doom.
on a long enough timeline, every GM does that, where they come up with a name for a character and they're just like, oh, I didn't realize that this was so silly because I just wrote it down. And I thought it was cool.
That exact thing happened. One of my first role playing groups ever. This guy, he wanted to play a dark elf, which we were like, okay, no problem. And he named himself Doc Lafar, which it was like dark elf. It's like whatever. And he said it so fast, we're like, is your name Baklava? And that character died 2 sessions in. Like he did not give a fuck about that character anymore. He wanted it to die so he could roll up a new one.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
God, it hurts. And you name your character and you have your whole concept and you're just like, damn it, I ruined the concept with this stupid name and I can't get out from under it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, I don't know, Baklava, he's just like kind of a sweet guy, a little bit flaky. Don't worry about him.
I would say he's a square, but he's more of a triangle.
Now I just want some baklava. If you ever had baklava, it's fucking delicious. It's great.
Can't live without my baklava.
It's now, correct, is baklava the one that has honey on it traditionally? Is that okay?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Greek treat, right?
Maybe. That sounds accurate.
Like,
Probably not,
I mean,
though.
yeah, that like that area, like the Middle East too, the Balkans and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turkish, maybe,
Yeah.
is what
It's
we're
good
getting.
shit though. I like it.
It's good. Go get some baklava. This week's episode is brought to you by baklava.
Jesus
My
Christ.
baklava.
Someone is like not upset that I even mentioned the word Greek in relation to that food product.
It's not.
I am sorry.
It's Arabic, obviously. Well, I
Yeah,
only know
I don't
that
know if
too
you
'cause
know
it's
this.
in, like,
I don't know if
every
you know this
hookah
about.
joint.
I don't know if you know this about Greece, but they were like a massive group of countries, and then they there's this thing the Middle East is
Nope.
right next to it. So
That's
there was
wrong.
some cross
Nope.
there where they found this food they liked from somewhere else, and they brought it home with them. And here's this is gonna blow your mind: London, founded by Romans. It's crazy.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
That's crazy. Just as crazy as that. I'm not actually Mexican. We all know that. I don't sound Mexican. I don't look Mexican.
I know you put your fucking tortillas in a goddamn ice box. So yeah, you're not. That's
It's not called an
say
ice
that,
box.
yeah. No, I'm from the south.
Fuck,
can
am I
call them
living in
ice
the
box.
woods?
What?
You know, the thing is, you say that, Max, but I've heard the way you say chorizo, and I know your secret.
Chorizo? Yeah.
Yeah, delicious,
said.
delicious chorizo. It's so good.
Tortillas.
Tortillas is good. I got to move this chair up because I'm tired of feeling so
Carne
short
asada.
on my goddamn chair. I'm just gonna face the back pain. Dan's over here fucking destroying his camera scene, and I'm just like, little itmeJP over here. Hey guys, how's it going? Anyway, sorry, that's me, not you, Dan. Don't worry about it.
How's your back pain? I saw that. Back pain sucks.
It's gotten better.
That's good.
Yeah, I've been doing some DDP yoga, and let me tell you,
Oh, man.
DDP, he knows his shit. Okay, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. It is a little weird though when you have to do like the diamond breaker stretch where he does this, but you do the diamond, and also I'm out of frame.
DD,
somehow,
I was to say,
Yeah.
DDP yoga is that one where they get you in like an upside down headlock and then like slam your head into the ground. Is that? It's
And
that
then
one.
your back feels the burn.
Yeah. Yep. Zeke's seen the infomercial. It's pretty good.
Oh no, I used to love DDP when he was a wrestler.
Okay, well there you go. That's
Every
exactly. He
yoga
says
move
something around the
also
same.
doubles as a good wrestling move.
Zeke used to
It
love
does.
DDP, but since his last vacation, he just loves DP instead.
God damn it! God, I'm leaving. You guys can play without fucking broken promises this time.
That works on multiple levels.
Leaving and Baklava will never be
Multiple
back.
levels. Because DP is his friend, and also
Right,
DP
it's
is
his
the form of sex thing. And we were talking about how it was a casting couch. Works on
It's
2
his
levels.
friend's name, so yeah, it's good. It's nice. Thank you
Good
for,
stuff.
for that. That's good.
Yeah. Imagine being settled with that for your life.
Yeah,
Your name like DP.
yeah.
There was an ad
be rough.
campaign that Dr. Pepper did not that long ago where they gave out shirts that said "I heart DP," and it is just like fuck. It's such
How
a
does that get
good.
through a fucking
Man.
agency? What are they
Wow.
doing? How does that not get checked?
Yep.
It's bad.
I
It's bad
just
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Max, what have you been up to the past week?
Memorial Day cookout with the family.
What'd you cook? What was
the Mexican side of the family?
what was barbecuing?
Ribs. I don't know how to say this white, so I'm going to say
I don't know
arrachera.
how to say this.
that's
I'm
so good.
offended? Question mark.
I don't
really
know how
don't.
to say this in your language.
It's a type of like meat that's prepared, and it's called arrachera.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's yeah.
sure.
How would
Wait.
how would you say it? Would you say arrachera like that?
Can you put some cheese on that? No, I'm sorry. We're out of cheddar.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
We do have baklava though.
Pipe
so
down,
that's
DP.
good.
Yeah, there was ribs. There was all sorts of like steak and shit, sausages, like everything. Like a Hispanic get together is not limited to just like Hispanic food. Most of the time, we just kind of fucking take everything. We're like, we make all the good shit that we know how to make really well, and then also a little bit of that. Got a little bit of Italian beef over here. At least my family does. But it was really good. Super, super good. My mom made some bomb ass lasagna, and I still got some leftovers of that. So it was
Lasagna at a
really
barbecue.
good.
This is the best barbecue ever.
Yeah, man. And she makes some really good lasagna, like really good.
How do you
I'll
keep the
freeze
sauce
some.
from
I'll
slipping
send it
through
to
the grate of the barbecue?
How do I what?
What?
How do you keep the sauce from slipping through like the grill? Man,
he's-
okay,
oh.
Yeah, that just.
Hold on. Say that again. Say it again.
Nope,
I get it
nope,
now. Say it again.
I am not going to explain that joke to you.
You are a joker. Whew. That was a good one. Hold on. Let me take that one. There you go. Yeah, I did that, and then I played Layers of Fear. I started playing Layers of Fear.
Is that
last
game
night.
scary? Because I've watched a bunch of streams
No.
and I've seen a bunch of people talk
Not
about it.
scary.
It does not seem scary at all. There seems like
Not
no
scary.
fear whatsoever.
I'm not really too freaked out on scary games very easily. Anyways, that's kind of how I attack them. Very cynical, and I just kind of make fun of stuff and whatever. And that's part of the reason why I think a lot of people like watching me, because it's easier to watch that than somebody being like barely going through and they have everything volume blast up and then like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I played through the first one like that, and I like the game because they put more effort into it than a lot of other devs do in terms of like building out the scenery and the story and atmosphere and stuff. It's an experience to go through once. Is it like an amazing game? No, like it's kind of slow. There is tropish stuff, but every now and then you get a mechanic where it's like, ooh, you do this thing and oh, that's how you make the door appear, and then you walk through. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But there's also other stuff where I go through and I like, there was like a part where there was like a globe and you have to mess with this globe in like the darkness with just like lights that are around you, and you can spin the globe. And I was like, man, how fucking cool would that have been? Is if as you spin the globe, the fucking room moves around you, like the whole goddamn room moves around you. That would have been cool, and it didn't happen. But then there was another part where like they kind of mess with spinning stuff. The premise of this one is where you're on like an old ocean like cruise liner from like the classy era of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I say that because I don't remember the actual period that those ships were very popular. And then there's a movie being
20s,
filmed.
or-
Something like that. Yeah, 20s probably. That sounds right. And there's a movie being filmed, and part of the ship is shut down for the movie, and you're like, I don't know if you're actually the actor or whatever, but you wake up and there's like fucking nobody around and everything's all spooky and shit. So there's a lot of room for them to play around with like movie sets that are on the ship, set up, Jimmy rigged and stuff. And I don't know, it's fun. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna play through it just because I don't really play a lot of spooky games. So when I do, I'm like, all right, I should probably just actually finish this since I never really do that for my audience,
Okay.
But yeah, there's some tropish stuff that happens. It's really hard to not have trope things that other horror games have done already to be like, original and have it like be unanticipated
Right.
kind of stuff. That's one of the biggest genres where you're just like, okay, yep, I'm going to turn around now. Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, cool. Spook. And there's not even a whole lot of jump scares either, which I kind of like. I don't like it when they.
It's weird that they're calling it Layers of Fear 2, and that's not scary. Like,
I'm sure to some people it's scary. I'm a bad person to ask how scary something is because I will literally be like, oh, okay, that happened, and something will be like, I'm like, okay. It's just.
Dan, did you play it at all? Is it scary? The Layers of Fear 2?
I played the second. I played the first one. I haven't played the second one yet.
Okay. I didn't know if you had checked it out or not. The first one was pretty scary though, right? Like it had some jump scares and stuff.
It started scary, and then it got less scary because I think they ran out of time and budget. But yeah, it was. They were going for scary in the first one.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I wouldn't describe it as a really, really scary experience.
All right.
More atmospheric, like, ooh, what's going on here?
We'll figure it out next week then, because you said you're gonna
Peppered
finish
with
it.
a little bit of scariness.
Yeah, we'll get your opinion on it next week fully. Anything else you've been doing, playing?
Oh, I played Holdfast last night.
What is Holdfast?
As well. Holdfast is Holdfast Nations at War, and it's like old time. Well, let me just read their Twitter banner. Fight on multiple fronts in Holdfast Nations at War, a competitive multiplayer first and third person shooter set in the Napoleonic era. So there you go. Yeah, it's very, very much like there's a lot of RP that happens in it, and it's very silly and stuff. They had a new naval update where they just completely overhauled naval combat and ships and being able to attack. What's it called? On like land and stuff and take over ports.
One of the classes in this game is Pfeifer. You can be a Pfeifer.
Yep.
Fuck guns. I want to play a fife.
The funny part about that, Adam, is I tuned into Max for 5 seconds last night. No, he was aiming a rifle, tracking a Pfeiffer, shot the rock. The Pfeiffer came on the other side of the rock and killed Max. And I was like, huh. Then I
you don't fuck with Michelle Pfeiffer. She will kill your ass.
So the Pfeiffers seem dangerous. They seem don't fuck with them apparently.
Yeah. It's tough, okay? The aiming in that is not very good.
The aiming looked pretty rough. That's why I was,
The aiming is how it was, like, depending on the different weapons you had. Some of them are like, they actually are like a sniper class where they have a better rifle that's longer, and has more accuracy.
Guns didn't have rifling then, right? They still shot balls. Yeah, so like accuracy was super low. Yeah.
It's really fun though. I'd give it a shot if you've never messed with it. Especially when they do like events and there's a lot of people, because it's the traditional like gameplay in it is line combat, more or less, and then it gets broken up and stuff. But they'll do events where they get a shit ton of people in a server. I'm talking like 60 on 60 kind of shit in there, and like they get people all lined up. They have captains and stuff like line up, form up on the left side, come on, and everybody's like RPing it out. It's fun. It's really fun.
All right.
A lot of silly shenanigans.
Yeah. I'll have maybe. Are you gonna stream it again?
Yeah, at some point.
Okay, I'll check it out more so than the 5 seconds I did where you died to a Pfeiffer last night. Mr. DansGaming, what have you been up to the past week? What have you been playing? Are you still in that Skyrim life?
I just finished the Dawn Guard DLC, so I'm kind of like, I'm done with Skyrim for a little bit, taking a break from it.
Good, they're reforming the Dawn Guard.
Yeah, vampires or something.
Anyways.
You've made me want to play that shit so much. I've lurked in just watching you a bit. I keep saying this every time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the mod.
I've been playing it for 3 weeks, so I need to like take a break for a bit.
Yeah, you've been going real hard at it. The NVIDIA put out a Quake 2 RTX thing that's like coming on the 6th or whatever. But it sparked
I was like,
idea.
whoa.
Yeah, it looks really good. But it sparked this idea. are we just gonna have? Is the next remaster like adding RTX? Is that a new marketing thing where they're just gonna RTX a game and put it out?
Yep, Nvidia will probably sponsor it. They will like, yep, here's a new game. We're sponsoring it. An old game. Here's RTX on it. Rebuy it, please.
Because it made Quake like it's actually staggering how good it looks with just a different lighting engine within
It was a
Quake 2.
dramatic difference. Yeah.
It makes the game look modern. It like I don't. It's hard to describe. Just go watch the video because I sound stupid and like I'm making things up.
We don't talk about that though. Like with a lot of the games that we have, like I don't think most of us realize how having a more sophisticated lighting engine and system changes the way the game looks. I mean, like that fucking thing, when they threw RTX into Minecraft, you're just looking at the stuff, you're like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, Jericho's actually been streaming modded Minecraft with the RTX, or it's not like fully RTX, but whatever that is, the shader, and it's remarkable how good it looks. So
yeah,
maybe they'll put out Skyrim RTX. Probably make that
God.
game look insane.
I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they could make a new game. That'd also be good.
Adam, don't be crazy. Okay,
They
it
are
takes
making
so
a new
much
game,
money to
Adam.
make a new game.
They can just
I
remember.
just- I know.
Re-releasing it.
Have you heard of
I know,
Fallout
I know, it's-
76? It's been patched in the past couple of months. It's
I'm out here with the revolutionary takes, but like maybe they can make a new game
no.
That ain't revolutionary.
to.
That's what the whole internet's saying.
Yeah.
if they wanted to.
And then there's people like me who just,
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You mean
I pointed at the Skyrim posters.
I didn't know what you were doing. I thought.
Hey, JP, do you know how to
Thought you lost
grill
your balance.
lasagna? How do you get it from?
I remember that from before when Zeke said that. I remember that. That was good.
Max, why is your shirt? That color on that shirt is just popping. Why? What type? Is that a brand new shirt? Have you not washed it yet?
Do you want to see this shirt?
I wanna
'Cause
see
it's
this
really
shirt.
Good. I've worn it before.
Hell yeah, we want to see.
I
want
to see this shirt.
Oh, I've seen that shirt before. That's a good shirt.
Woo! That shit.
Has
I
that
like it.
been washed?
It's a good
Yeah.
wizard.
That's a high
Multiple
quality
times.
shirt right there. Who made that shirt?
I don't remember.
Gandalf.
That's very high.
Check it out.
Damn.
Different wizard on the back.
That's pretty high quality. Does it feel heavy? Like is the shirt weighted down by the decals on it?
Okay, so it's somewhere in between a heavy shirt and a comfy shirt. So it is not as comfy as I would have liked it to be, but comfy enough where I'll wear it fairly regularly.
Okay. I'm
It's not like that thick, heavy cotton, but it does have a little bit of a coarseness to it.
I like Barry's idea. You should take it off and check the label, Max.
Never.
Hold on, I'll put us under the that game directory. Then we're safe. We're good to go. We're good.
Yeah, we're just
golden.
hanging out,
Yeah.
chatting.
Yeah, I like the shirt though. It's one of my favorite.
good
I
shirt.
wear this a lot unintentionally when we do quarter swords because it's a little wizard.
Yeah.
I feel like you wore it either to or on a live show before, because I've
I
seen
might
that
have
shirt in
worn
person.
it. The last live show we did, I wore the
You wore the
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk
Yeah, I
smoking
remember
the
that
universe.
Yeah, I remember that. Maybe you wore one before.
I like shirts that pop, you know,
The shirt
especially
pops?
when they're black shirts. I like them to have. I have so many just regular black shirts, so it's cool to me when it's like a really neat design. It's really
Look,
disappointing.
I've already expressed my feelings on black shirts on this show before, and I got laughed at. So
right.
we're not going to bring it back up, and we're just going to move on.
Was it like he felt
We'll just
hot
move
or
on.
something like that, or what was
you know
it?
what? We're
I
just gonna leave him with the shame. People can go and watch
Okay,
back
I need a
episodes if they wanna
refresher.
find out.
What was it? What shirt hurt you, JP?
Anyways,
So,
Adam, what have you been up to?
I went and saw a movie. I went and saw Brightburn.
Oh,
the other
yeah.
night.
Was that any good?
Because John Wick 3 is out, and the new Godzilla is coming out this weekend, and there's like some other stuff. But I went and saw Brightburn because I was just like felt like going to see a movie, and I didn't want to see any of the other ones. Was it good? No, it was not. It was fine, I guess.
Okay.
The premise is kind of cool, where it was like, what if Superman wasn't a nice guy? Like,
Yeah.
what if he landed in Kansas and they raised him and he turned out to be an alien douche?
Oh, that one. Yeah, tell me about it.
So yeah, like I just felt like it was too. This doesn't happen very often. It was too short. It was only an hour and a half long, if that's like an hour and 27 minutes or something. And they didn't get enough time to explain stuff. There's probably 40 minutes of like kind of action sequences that were like, it was surprisingly gory, which was fine, but I didn't expect it. And then, yeah, they just kind of like didn't, the characters don't make any sense because they don't have any room to develop. So like things will just suddenly happen and a character is like, I'm an insane murderer now, or like, I'm gonna try and kill this person for no reason. And you're like, if I had gotten like 10 more minutes of development of this character, I could maybe understand why you're doing that. But so it was, yeah, it felt very, very crowded. Like they were trying to get a lot done. But yeah, it felt a little like Chronicle. Remember Chronicle, where it was kind of like teenagers get superpowers? Yeah, it was like that, but like it couldn't decide what it was trying to say. Like at times, it felt like an analog for like puberty, because they brought puberty up a lot, and they were like, yeah, like you're going through changes, and you might have urges, and the urges are like a stand-in for like I want to kill everybody and be an alien badass.
He just wants to murder.
Yeah, so there was that, but they didn't really lean into that. And then there was also the like, we're kind of hinting that like Superman is a good guy because he was born good. Like it sort of talks about the like nature versus nurture thing, but never to any relevant degree. So it just kind of feels like they were like, maybe we sort of want to talk about this, but we're not actually going to go into it. Here's a scene of somebody getting their eyeballs yanked out. So it was like, I don't know. I couldn't tell what it wanted to do. And I don't think that they could tell either. I feel bad for the person that edited this movie because it was like a bunch of pieces that were missing the stuff to connect them. But they ended it, and like all the world building happened during the end credits. There's like 3 little scenes during the end credits where they're suddenly like, okay, cool. Now we'll talk about like the world at large once we realize that there's this alien and he's scary and whatever. And I was like, great, but now you're setting us up for like an even worse sequel with like more of this going on. I don't know. The thing was, the movie was like $5 million to make or something like obscenely cheap, and it already made like 3 times that. So
that's good.
Based on that budget, we'll probably get another one, which I won't go see because it's a Netflix. We'll just wait for, don't spend your money in the theater. Don't spend $25 to go see it. It's not good.
Makes perfect sense.
But I also played Observation, which I know many other people here have.
Oh yeah, was that good?
It looked good. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
I've heard it's pretty all right. I heard it's very hard to talk about that game because it's very easy to spoil stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I read about it, I was like, oh, cool. They made a game just for me. It's like weird AI space thriller stuff. And I was like, fuck, of course. And within the first 20 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, this game is I'm going to enjoy this. Like I know, unless it takes a really hard right turn into Shitsville, I'm going to enjoy this game. And so it was quite good. I found, and I don't know if this is just me, but I found that it suffered from the same problem that in gameplay that Hellblade did, where the game sets up a momentary premise where it's like something tense is happening. There is a limited amount of time in which the tense thing is going to happen. Now do 3 puzzles. And you're like, cool. I'll just take 20 minutes to do this puzzle and like wander around the space station. And they're like, the tense music is playing and stuff is going to happen. You're like, wait a second. Stuff isn't going to happen until I'm done with these puzzles. I see what you're doing. But otherwise, yeah, I thought it was, aside from that pacing thing, I thought it was fucking great. I watched you play it a little bit, Zeke. What did you think? Do you like it?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I liked it even more when it's one of those things where little details, like something, like at one point, I was playing the game and I went, wait a minute. I've seen that before. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh, I had that same. How many times did the game crash on you? Because I found it kind of unstable. It crashed 3 times. Once, chat was like, "It's gonna crash."
Yep.
Chat was like, "It's gonna crash. Here it comes," and then it did. And it crashed 2 other times. One was like a soft lock, and the other was just like a flat out like we're done playing. But otherwise, it was pretty. Pretty stable.
Well,
3 times in a 5-hour game.
It's one of those games where when that one crash that most people get, it was at the point where I was like, is the game doing something to me? Like, is this?
Is it supposed to do this? I watched you. You were chasing a character, and the animation was glitching, and you're like, is this happening? Is this real? Yeah. Am I freaking? And he was like, nah. Unfortunately, I I think that's just there was some clipping and some weird because there's a part where someone floats through a wall and you're like,
Yeah,
"Ah,
exactly. Yeah.
horror game or bad programming." But I felt like the story was good. It didn't like stay too long, right? Like when you get to the end, you're like, yeah, I felt like that's enough a game. Like I was ready for it to be over. Yeah, I liked it.
Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's by the same people who did Stories Untold. And that if you played Stories Untold, like like the kind of developers that are making the game, it's the Stories Untold is fucking fantastic. And when I found that out, I was like double excited to play it.
Stories Untold is like a more like a horror game though, right? Like it's not.
It's like a Stephen King like a 4 seasons. It has like different games or different storylines in the like all compacted.
I've had some pretty
game.
horrific times at a 4 seasons, so I know I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does look pretty good. Okay, cool.
I think you'd like it. It's appropriately creepy without being heavy-handed. Like games are really a lot of games that I've been playing lately are just like really too ham-fisted with the you feel scared now. You feel sad.
They made this game because people like Stranger Things. Yeah. Okay,
very true, but it's not it's a Stephen King sort of a feeling, but it's clever enough to keep you going. Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Cool. I went and saw Aladdin, by the way. You reminded me.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Hey, Aladdin's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that? It's the original's
Pretty
really
good.
great. And so they made the new one, and it's just the original, except Will Smith is not Robin Williams. So if that's gonna bother you, then you might not like it. But I thought it was pretty good other than that. Also, the actress that plays Jasmine, 100% best actor in the show, and also the best singer in the entire goddamn movie. She has like her own song that's new to this version of Aladdin, which is really good. But any like duet that she's a part of in the movie she's like on point. She's a really fucking good singer, which is also weird because she was the Pink Ranger in the most recent Power Rangers movie. That blew my goddamn mind when I realized that. Here's the worst part about the whole movie, though. All right, it's not. I guarantee you, it's not what you think it is. The movie ends, and you're like, "Oh, this is great." They have like a post-credit thing. Where it's like, everyone's dancing. They're doing like this cool scene and people are dancing and stuff.
Samuel L. Jackson comes out and is like, Aladdin, you got to join the Avengers.
Screen cuts to black. All right. And you're like, okay, here come the credits. The credits start to like scroll a little bit. And then literally out of nowhere, you hear DJ Khaled. And the fucking Will Smith rap starts that DJ Khaled produced. And it took Errand started just laughing. Errand was sitting right next to me. She just like let out a burst of laughter because it's the most like shocking thing. Man.
That happened?
He made the song. It's not in his version of the song is not in the movie, but it's like the radio edit, I guess. They redid Friend Like Me, and he's the producer of the song, and it's.
But hasn't he done like that's expected though? Hasn't Will Smith made like a rap song about?
Yes.
Like,
No, it's like a standard Will Smith credits song that has happened before. But the shocking part is just that it starts with DJ Khaled doing the DJ Khaled scream, and the credits start going in a Disney movie, and it's just
the more I hear about that guy, the less and less and less I like him.
We watched him recently. He was on the season finale of Saturday Night Live with Paul Rudd. And his entire 2 performances on Saturday Night Live were him just screaming DJ Khaled, and then the recording of him auto-tune singing DJ Khaled right afterwards, and then him going another one, and then another rapper coming out that he would introduce, and then the rapper would sing, and DJ Khaled would just do this. And he did it for about 6 or 7 people that he introduced in each song. And I just thought, what the fuck?
I saw.
What the fuck?
I saw him perform. I don't remember what it was. It was right before or right as they released that song. Like nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. That song. So this was like as they were dropping that. No one had heard that before.
Yeah.
And they were live performing it.
Was this at
the first
Overwatch
time or whatever?
Overwatch League? Is that what it was?
I don't think it was that. It was something else. But he came out with the other guy, I guess, on the track or whatever. And oh my God, it was the worst fucking performance ever. It was so
Dude.
fucking horrible. It was them wearing like giant oversized leather jackets, like looking exhausted as they're out there like jumping around. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. It's like, what the fuck?
And
I was like, this song is trash. Holy shit.
He makes so much money. It's one of those, it's just God, in a Disney movie, at the end of Aladdin, you do not expect to hear DJ fucking Khaled do as another one and then say his name and then Will Smith start to sing Friend Like Me. It was just, I was shook. I didn't want to leave the theater.
Because Jafar looked like he was going to be shit.
Jafar is the worst person or worst like character. He doesn't, they don't go
like
what
the casting.
It's weird because it's like you don't want to spoil the movie, but it's like the movie's been out for a very long time.
We've seen Aladdin. Does he turn into the big red genie? Does that happen? Because that's like when I was a kid, that was the best part of Aladdin.
But he does not turn into a snake.
Oh man, that shit was so good. It was like some Conan shit.
He also doesn't have his like his verse or whatever in Prince Ali or whatever.
The one where he like golfs him into the fucking North Pole and he's talking about man.
I forgot what that scene. I forgot how that happens. But yeah. Anyways, the rest of the
he gets the lamp and then he's like, haha, I want to be a genie and I want to do like badass.
Also, Iago doesn't say anything. He just he's like a parrot.
He's just a parrot.
Well, he parrots stuff that Jafar says. Like he.
Right. Okay.
But
he doesn't fully. It's not Gilbert Godfrey fucking talking.
But it's Gilbert Godfrey.
No, it's just a parrot saying parrot things, and that's
Huh.
But
interesting.
And all those songs have like a Will Smith take to them, which is not necessarily. I enjoyed it the entire time. I was that Aladdin movie.
They should because he's a musician. Yeah. So like you'd figure they hire him because they're like, cool, let's get your input on.
They do hit on
every. Just try to straight. Go ahead.
Well, they hit on like every best joke or like memorable line that's in there because I didn't realize that I apparently know that movie by heart because he would say it and I was like, oh my God, he said the thing. He said that it's a teeny tiny living space like twice. He said that twice. That's so good. Yeah. So
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
I don't know.
Jafar. It doesn't look like he would be good. Well, the thing is, Jafar
was
a
good actor. I know that.
The guy's voice too just didn't fit it for me. Like I wasn't saying they just had to straight lift up Jafar, but when I saw the preview, it's like, oh, here's this menacing Jafar. What's he got for us? Go into there, Aladdin. Okay, go in there, and this is my voice is. Hi, I'm your buddy.
He's just like sleepy Jafar. I guess if you could just go get that lamp, that'd be.
Go get the lamp for me. If you don't, I'll be very cross.
He gets a little angrier towards the end for sure. Yeah.
Like before it was like Jafar, he's got that kind of like crazy sultry.
Jafar.
Also, if we're nitpicking, they do this weird thing that I guess is that it's like the director's thing that he does. I can't recall seeing any other of his movies, so I don't know if it's true or not. But they recorded the scenes in like 24 FPS or whatever, like normal cinema FPS. Yeah. And then they like sped them up in certain parts to where the characters were moving fast, but it was at like 16 or 12 FPS or some shit. So it's like really jarring. It's mostly through like the parkour stuff that Aladdin's doing and a lot of the beginning of the movie and when he's in the tomb and stuff. It was really weird. Guy Ritchie, I guess, is the director. Now that I remember. That was a really weird thing.
Guy Ritchie did this?
Yeah.
Yes. That also surprised me as well. Yeah.
Was there like a big unveiling at the end where all the shit kind of came into play and they like fucking showed you how the timeline syncs up?
No. They didn't really speak to it at all. They should have just left it at normal speed, but apparently that's like a Guy Ritchie thing. I don't know. Anyways, I still recommend it. Yeah. The parts, every song that's in the movie is great. It's the parts where nothing is being sung, where you're just kind of like, can you start singing again? Can you just break into song for no reason? So I do recommend it though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd still want to go see it. Yeah. Definitely, it seems like something that would be better to see in theaters. Just to
I'm looking at his filmography. I'm looking at his filmography right now, and I gotta say, it doesn't look like Guy Ritchie has made anything good in like 10 years. Because I was like, oh, Guy Ritchie, cool. And then I looked and I'm like, oh, this is like a lot of garbage. Like, he did that King Arthur thing. He did that sort of like wimpy Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie.
That
I didn't
movie
really
was
like
good.
either the Sherlock Holmes movies, but I thought it was like, I don't know. Yeah, like they're not great. But then you compare it to like, yeah, his like late 90s stuff like Snatch and Lock, Stock and Rock and Rolla and stuff. Like those are all really good, but it's like huh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, that's what's been going on at the theater.
I'm just imagining Aladdin opening up now, like those other like Snatcher. Now the thing is about a man with a carpet that flies.
You
I
should
thought you were
see
gonna say like when he rubs the lamp and the genie comes out. DJ Genie, another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Max, funny enough, you should go see the movie. Because it kind of does start a little bit different than what you remember of Aladdin.
Oh.
They do sing Arabian Nights, but I won't say anything else than that. It's very much a Guy Ritchie opening.
Well, did they still have the narration of like the opening, get like the tradesman guy?
Yes.
Like, come, let me tell you a tale. That whole kind of
A
stuff.
little bit. It's a
Oh, do
little
they use
bit
the edited
tweaked.
lyrics? Do they use the edited lyrics, or do they say they'll where they'll cut off your ear if they don't like your face, like the original lyric?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it did.
Okay.
I imagine if they changed it before, they wouldn't go back again and like unchange it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Anyways, let's recap last week, and then we'll jump
Let's
into
do
it. 'Cause
it.
we already did our goals because we're changing how that works. So here's what happened last week.
Previously on Court of Swords. A somber scene, we find the dead scattered about the marketplace, and picking through them, the king. Brought here by the other members of the court, she takes the body of Yotozo away and demands the judge, who's present, seek out the others who escaped. He leaves to do so. In the basement of a strange church, the dead are unloaded and awaken one by one, shaking off their confusion. Among them, Amira and Maharib. She awakens, but he does not. Not until she uses the monk's equipment to feed her blood into him. The change he undergoes awakens him from death, at last. They leave, Amira carrying Maharib's rejected sword. Someone follows from the shadows. Ramus and Berg emerge from the carnage of Where's My Aorta and head for the safety of Miss Tippets through the strange tunnels below the necropolis. They find safety there after narrowly avoiding a judge. Maharib and Amira are confronted by a strange figure, a tiefling named Unfailing Redeemer of Broken Promises. She works for the Basilica, but has a personal interest in these two. They make a deal. Safety in exchange for leading her through whatever vein they intend to use to leave the Court of the Void. A friend of Miss Tippets, named Mr. Nice Guy, offers to help Ramus and Berg reconnect with their missing friends, but laments their lack of a diviner, which honestly would have made all this vein hunting a lot easier. They're going to need one if they want to find Aorta's promised vein. Otherwise, it's through the gauntlet and down below the city. Not great options. Mr. Nice Guy reunites Berg and Ramus with Maharib and Amira, and tells them to make haste. The city is looking for them.
Oh no, the city's looking for us.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, I'm gonna
true.
change the thing.
That's true. Yeah. So we have goals. Would you like to just read them for everybody so we know what your goals are for this
Oh,
session?
right. Chat, we already made goals.
Yeah,
That's right. The goals happen at the end of the thing now. So
yeah. Max, read your goals.
Okay, I got to log in first.
Zeke, read your goals.
wow.
Okay. My goals are earn Berg's trust, lead us safely out of the city, research the other side of the void.
Okay. Dan, read your goals.
Survive the passage through the vein back to the other world. Rescue Little Action, and then figure out if I can trust Broken Promises.
Right. Mine are escape the void, figure out why Amira is being, quote, weird, and collect Yota's remains. Max, read your goals.
Escape the void, get new armor, and rescue Little Action.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he's in there. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Also, before we start, if you're watching live, we did make some changes to the extensions, or the extension, rather, for character sheets and whatnot. But if there are still some issues, feel free to either get at Barry in the chat or just drop him an email there in the link. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're missing out because we got character sheets and you don't got them.
You got cool
It is
shit
really
going
cool.
on. Yeah,
Look,
man.
he even modified it so instead of just being like a purple little diamond on the left side to close it, it says close.
Yeah.
So people know they can click that to close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, good UI is very important.
It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Adam. Let's begin.
So I believe the last place that we saw the group of you now reunited was in Broken Promises safe house in the Court of the Void inside the in the necropolis. So here's the thing, Broken Promises, like you know that a safe house is only safe temporarily, and that you can't keep these people here forever. So what plans have you made? What are you doing to what's the next step? Because for now, these folks seem like they are trying to figure out their plan, but you know that they can't stay here, right?
Mhm.
So what are you gonna do?
The next step is to contact Still Hands holding a large knife, who is my underworld kind of like, I don't know, CI, whatever. My criminal contact from my spy background, and to contact him to get us in touch with smugglers who can smuggle us safely out of the city without being seen.
Okay. All right. So how do you get in contact with Still Hands? Like, what is your usual avenue for getting in touch with that person?
It's usually like a someone lower down in his like criminal organization, like I mean, for lack of a better word, like an urchin or something like that.
Yeah. What
is
does
just like
this
a
guy
messenger.
do? What is this guy like? What is his? Because he's like a criminal. Like, does he? Like, what is his crime of choice here?
I would say like people. He's kind of like a mafia kind of a person. Like people come to him for favors and that kind of thing. And that's like his stock and trade is favors. So I do this for you. I know someone who does this. They owe me a favor, so I will use this to get your thing done. And now you owe me, or your whole family owes me, or something like that. Like it just the favors grow exponentially, or not exponentially, but like every new favor is worth more than the last.
Yeah. So
That's
he's
how
like a
kind of
little
his
bit.
empire's grown, yeah. Or not empire, but like,
a little bit capo, a little bit like extortionist. Has people that work for him like willingly or unwillingly because they owe him things. Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. So you to walk me through what this step is, because the other three, Ramus, Berg, and Maharib, as well as Amira, are discussing their own preferences for what's next. So we probably begin the episode on you with them in the background. What are you doing? Like, walk me through how you get this message to Still Hands, or do you just like go to where you do you leave?
Yeah, I would probably leave. I probably tell them, do you want to RP this out like what I say before I go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Now that everybody is in one spot, we're all here. All of the party is here. Was there one more person here? Oh, it's Gun Princess is here, or Amira, excuse me.
Yeah.
Amira, yeah, she's here, and briefly, you were talking with Mr. Nice Guy, but he's gone. He's left. Yeah.
Right. Now, Mr. Nice Guy, do we have an arrangement to meet on the outside?
I don't remember you making one with him. But
okay,
you could.
Well, I guess I want to know what his part to play in this is. He's going to find the vein?
No, you need to do that. You need a diviner.
Okay.
That's what the others are talking about. He will help you once you decide how you want to go about this. He's like a fixer, right? He'll help you, but he's not getting personally involved, and he gets a cut. So he's going to send people along with you to represent his interests in this vein, because he doesn't. You want the vein as a tunnel. He wants it as a mine, right? He's going to mine it for stuff.
Right. So yeah, we're not going to keep it. We're just going to use it. And once we get there, once we're gone, he gets to keep it.
Well, it'll collapse once he starts going to work on it. So
Sure. There you go. Okay. So what is, I guess the question is, what is he specifically doing for us?
nothing right now.
Okay.
He's getting a team together. He's getting some guys together to go and do the vein thing. But he will help you once you've decided. Because remember, he left it in your hands as a group. He said you get two choices if you want a vein that could be strong enough to carry people through it, either the one under the city, or you leave the city with a diviner, a good diviner, and you go and you find this other vein.
Okay. Would I know, like, is a diviner like an occupation that people?
Yeah,
like...
yeah. It's a talent. It's a talent that people can develop. You have to kind of be born with it. It's like an extra sense. It's like ESP where you can predict where veins will open. You can feel them in advance of their arrival. These people all become vein hunters or personal hounds of the Mara and seek them out for religious reasons. But yeah, like born in the sense that like you just have it when the world was created.
Is one of the
yeah.
Is one of the
No, go ahead.
previous trio, Gun Princess, One Last Job, and
Correct, and that is
Little
what
Action.
the other characters, and that's what the other characters are talking about. They're discussing too much talk, too little action, and how he is currently in the hands of the court of the void, right? Of those the court of the fool in verse.
Okay.
So yeah, all
So
of that
I
is
guess
happening.
that's where we'll start.
Yeah. So if the beginning scene is you walking over to them and being like, "What's everybody talking about?" Then that's cool. We can start with them talking, and you can walk into that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I
Okay.
will do that.
So Berg, Ramus, Maharib, and Amira, you are in a place that is unfamiliar to you. You have been told that it is safe. You've met some strange new people. This sorceress, this tiefling sorceress, seems to have a personal interest in getting you the fuck out of here and joining you in on that. And it looks like there is a chance that you could escape, but there are some hard decisions to be made first. Let alone the complication of not really knowing what's going to happen to Amira when you take her out of this place, if that's where you end up. So the group of you are in this safe house. It's a little crowded. It's not meant for 6 people or whatever. But you're kind of off to the side having a conversation. So I think we kind of enter in media res for that conversation. What are you talking about? And kind of who's speaking?
I think I'm trying to understand what happened prior to all of this. So I'm just kind of staring at Berg and Ramus and say, what happened in the fight? I remember, well, I died. And
You died.
how did you
Yes.
escape? Did you destroy that creature?
No, it killed all of us nearly. Me and Berg barely got out alive. The thing is still out there somewhere. That killed everyone in that market. If you don't remember, they call him the Judge.
I remember him from when I was trying to get him with the city before we got separated. So, I don't know. I died. She brought me back. That's all I'm aware of.
I'm curious.
When Maharib says that, you Ramus, you catch Amira like smile at Maharib like proudly, like, yeah, he's alive because of me. She doesn't understand anything anyone is saying, but she sees Maharib look at her and she's like nods and smiles.
What's the last thing you remember? You came back in a weird way.
What do you mean, weird way?
I'm the only one here that could resurrect you with fountain magic. You came back some other way.
Well, I remember there's a shooting pain in my chest, and I collapsed. I know nothing else. The creature had some way to, I don't know, sap the strength from me, and I just fell over. I had no final memories except pain, and I point to my chest right here. In terms of how I came back, I kind of like look around the room. It's a long story. You remember the farm that she referenced and her friends referenced multiple times before we came to the city?
When you,
Well-
Mari, when you gesture or look at her, in giant, Amira says, "What are you and the burnt face old man talking about?"
I'll respond, but still being a part of the conversation. So just kind of like, I'm catching him up on everything that happened.
Fine. It's like fine, nerds, whatever. I don't care. I don't need to understand you.
So, yes, the farm. You remember that?
Yeah, the bug chucker or something.
Yes.
Fuck bugger,
It was.
I think.
His name was, or is, Bug Fucker, but he was a nice man.
Oh,
She, and I'd like look over my shoulder, was dead. In fact, she only existed as a, I don't know how else to say this, but as a heart. This friend now at the farm instructed me on how to bring her back. So she shares my blood. The same process that I brought her back, she brought me back. So I guess we're connected now. It's strange because with my blood going into her, she understood part of Goliath culture. She can speak giant, and now with her bringing me back, I can speak infernal. Much like this, and when I say that, I say that in infernal.
Yeah, she just looks over because she heard a part of the language you could understand. Scowls.
Neither of you are the people that left me before. You're both different.
Well, we're still the same people, Ramus, but yes, we're different.
You more so than her. She's way different.
Well,
She doesn't even speak the language anymore.
she took a lot of my blood, so I would assume different amounts change different things.
why
And-
couldn't your blood teach her to speak normal tongue?
In time, Berg, you learned, did you not?
This will be hard.
Whatever it is to bear, I will make sure that it is not overbearing for you. It's a burden on me, if any burden at all.
Well, duh.
I just kind of nod, like, of course, that makes total sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
And-
if
From the other room, you see Broken Promises enter. I should like to pick the brain of this bug fucker. This is a new development that I am unfamiliar with. It's fascinating.
He's a
Why
brilliant
are you
man.
picking his brain?
I'm sorry.
He is a friend. No,
I'm sorry.
is that
Berg.
what you
It's-
do?
It's a turn of phrase. I meant inquire about the procedure. I don't really mean to open his skull and start picking at his brain.
Or just looks at Ramus because he doesn't know what the word inquire means.
Yeah.
Well, if you're wanting to know more, I have almost everything right here. I hold this journal up. It's all documented very well.
Really? And what would the price of something like that be?
I'm still holding it up, and I kind of eye the other three and look at a mirror. We need to get back to our time, or place, or whatever it is, plane of existence.
Yeah, your realm.
It's far beyond my comprehension, but once we get there, I will share it with you, all of it.
Very well. I'll hold you to that. All right. Here's where I ask you, or discuss with you, how we move forward. I have many contacts within the city that can help facilitate our excursion. But what we need, as my friend Mr. Nice Guy so eloquently pointed out, is a diviner. Someone who can sense the veins or has a talent, an ability to find such things. Now, I know you haven't been here long, but start at the start. Do any of you know anybody that fits that description?
We actually do.
Really?
Tulip,
I figured it
yeah.
would just be a dead end right away and I'd have to go out and search.
Well, your dead end is coming. His name is, we call him Little Action for short, but he's a very talented diviner. A little bit of a trouble, antisocial type, but there's one small problem. He's currently being jailed or in the custody of the Divine Comedy. So we'd have to break him out.
That is
Broken Promises,
unfortunate.
can you make a history check for me real quick?
Yes, I was going to ask you if there was any way, like if they had renown or something that I would know. 16?
Okay. So obviously the court of the Fool in Verse, like that Mara and his servants are politically your enemy. They are enemies of the Basilica. They're in fact the Basilica and those who serve it hate them especially because they're so flippant and because the Fool in Verse is so obsessed with the world, right? With feeding off of the world and like mocking its state. Your Mara and the Fool in Verse have like actually come to blows several times, and it did not go well for anyone nearby. So probably there is some, I'm not going to tell you what your character thinks, but there is organizational disdain in place. You would know, because you probably have avoided being put in this place yourself, that there is an area of the, there's an area of their like space, an area of the Divine Comedy's hall somewhere below it called the Wolf Pit. And that is where they keep their prisoners. And they are not nice with them. If you get captured and thrown in the Wolf Pit, you're going to wish you could die forever, because you're going to live a long time being tortured down there. And usually just for fun, because it's a joke, because it's funny torturing people for 100
The
years.
old Berg treatment, eh?
Yeah, right. So, yeah. So if this person is anywhere, if they are in the hands of the Divine Comedy, that means that they're probably down somewhere in the Wolf Pit.
Have I ever organized or not organized? Have I ever arranged an exodus from the prison, like grease the right palms, talk to the right people? Like, would that have been something I've done?
Yeah, there's no like nobody's ever escaped from the Wolf Pit, but that people have been left out. People have been allowed to leave, and yeah, you've orchestrated that kind of business before, right? Trading prisoners, exchanging political favors in exchange for like letting people out. Yeah, you have compatriots, I imagine. Yeah, you have compatriots that have been in the Wolf Pit before, and for the most part, they've either opted to undergo a procedure to forget about that place, or simply cannot or will not talk about it.
Okay. Is there something that I can offer the Court of the Fool? Information, something like that, that I can exchange for a prisoner? Do you think I would have gathered something?
I mean, maybe you know things, but like, that's a turncoat move of a significant order, because anything you give up will have to be secrets for other people.
Right, but trading in secrets is
yeah, but remember, like
point,
the,
right?
the secrets. Yeah, but the secrets you have don't, like, you could tell them things about the Basilica if you wanted to, but like you're not under orders to do that, right? You're a rogue agent here, Jason Bourne. So
well, that's the thing. Like it's not something that Broken Promise is unwilling to do, because this is a one-way ticket and no return. So
yeah,
it just it does it puts a clock on it.
Yes, you know all kinds of shit that if you turned it over to them would significantly disadvantage and shift the power struggle in this place, especially given that there are rumors that the Fool in Verse is on his way here to Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
things may be shifting more quickly than anyone anticipates.
Okay.
So all of this kind of runs through your mind as
Mhm.
Ramus mentions this person.
Well, Master Krill, I have ways and means. I've been a part of the machinery of Opportunity for quite a while. However, if I were to use my knowledge to trade for this prisoner, it would put a definite urgency on our egress from the city. Is this person worth that? Because we will need to leave as soon as possible with them in tow.
Well, my lady, yes, I think we all want to go home as quickly as possible. So once we have them, we would leave immediately.
No, you misunderstand me. Is this diviner worth a damn?
She traveled with him, so I don't know if that means anything, but
So when you say that again, Amira's like, "What? Why is everyone looking at me?"
an old, I say in Giant, it's an old friend of yours, but it's not worth discussing now. I'll tell you soon.
Old friend of mine. You're the only old friend I have around here, and I've only known you for a couple of days. I'm getting antsy. I'm gonna go and punch something.
I just kind of like close my eyes and make like a long sigh, but then I let the two of them continue talking.
Is everything all right, Maharib?
Yes, she's. Imagine living a life and then waking up one day and not remembering any of it. That's currently her state of mind. It's worrisome.
Well, you just said a mouthful.
Yes.
Okay.
As I was saying, though, yes, I would assume he is. I don't know. Ramus spoke with him the most when we were journeying here. Maybe he knows.
He seemed to be gifted in divining, but he would need a bit of juice to start searching for the next vein.
Well, that's very fortunate because we have at least 2 people here, if not 3, that have plenty of it running through their blood.
We should be careful with that. She's the result of that, and so am I. Let's just keep that in mind.
You are alive.
But
What is the?
as
I don't see
Ramus
the negative.
just said,
because-
we're different.
Yes, but are you saying that he would ingest the juice and therefore possibly become a different version of himself?
I don't know. You're the one from this world. You explain how it works.
This is new to me. That's why I was so intrigued by what you told me of Bugfucker. You realize that you are outsiders, and this is not something that we see.
Yes. Sorry.
It's all right.
I think what he's saying is that she doesn't seem to remember anything. Her mind is gone. And I'm afraid that if the same thing might happen to Little Action if he were to undergo the same process.
Well,
Is there anyone else who could speak for Little Action?
We have a friend at the farm who might be able to.
Well, that means leaving the city. Once we leave the city, we're not coming back. So, I have to go on the word of someone who doesn't know this diviner very well, that this person is good at their job, or I can find someone who is good by reputation from somewhere in the city.
There was a third in their group. What was their name? Princess, little action in the other one.
You're right. I
Yeah,
don't
woman
recall
in
their name.
charge. Yeah, her name was the Business.
Oh yes, the business. There's another companion of them.
Have I heard this name?
Make a history check.
Okay. 11.
Yeah, but you can't really like you know that this is a person. She's a vein hunter. You've heard her name kind of floating around, but you're not like kind of deep in those circles. So yeah, there's familiarity, but you can't place any more additional information.
What happened to the business? Where is she? I'm assuming you guys said she already. I'm just using that because I thought you guys said.
Yeah, it's fine. We as an audience know the
Okay.
I actually don't know. I know Princess went with Maharib.
uh-huh.
Little action was with us.
Yeah.
And then got separated.
Yeah,
It's business.
you lost track of her outside the gate.
Well, I did
Yeah.
not see her at all at the farm. She was alone when I found her. So. And
So no one knows where the business is.
no.
All right.
Are we not forgetting the most important task for going to this place, though? Is it not to retrieve our dead friend's corpse? Are we giving up on that?
I'm sorry.
I thought you explained to me that Yota, our friend, if he died, that they would have taken his body to this place. Am I mistaken?
To what place? To the.
The same place where this diviner is being kept.
Sorry, hold on one second. Did I say that Yota's remains were instrumental in doing anything? I don't remember that.
No,
just-
Maharib just wants him back.
Okay, I'm just making sure like I didn't fucking miss something.
No.
Okay. Your friend's remains. What is the import of these?
Well, I don't.
He is dead, Maharib.
Yes, but this place is strange. Who's to say what they will do with his body? I mean, you know how they regard his kind where we come from. It's probably tenfold here.
Also, Ramus, you know that if Yotazo's body is not properly, what's the word for when you burn a body? Cremated. If he's not ritually cremated, his soul will not go up to heaven, and just it's bad. It's not good. It's not good for him
Well, the thing is,
or heaven too.
his body could be anywhere. The little one was obsessed with him. She could be playing with the corpse right now.
King,
Yeah.
I've heard
Is
this is too dangerous to risk for lifeless remains.
what is
I
security
say the
like?
path of least resistance for us is to find our own diviner, hire them,
Yep.
leave the city, and then find the vein. And then Mr. Nice Guy will join us when he sees fit, but not before, and he will not mine the vein until we are through. That is the agreement we've made. But he will help us as much as he can along the way. That is the arrangement. Does that not seem like the best course of action?
I understand you have no ties to this fallen friend of ours, so yes, that makes the most sense, but I would like to see his remains collected, if that's at all possible, through magical means, through physical means. Just, I don't want him being toyed with in this world. That's all I'm asking.
If I remember correctly, he's a very large creature. Your size, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but if
It would be an arduous task to try and retrieve it from anywhere.
I could
It's
throw him
not
over
as
my
if I
shoulder.
can.
It's not a problem for me. I just need to find his body.
Yes. And how do you expect to go unnoticed, especially when the king is probably making a marionette out of it as we speak?
I don't know. You're the one that hides in shadows. Why don't you put me in a shadow and I'll go get the goddamn body myself?
Why is this so important to you?
So
It
when
is
she
dead. Leave it
notices
be.
Maharib, when she notices you getting upset, she doesn't understand what you're saying. But Amira steps up behind you and puts her hand on your shoulder, not to tell you to calm down, but to be like, "Yeah, we're gonna fight. I'm on your side. Let's fuck these people up." Like she feels you getting angry, and she's just like, "Oh, my buddy's in trouble." And so she like steps up to kind of like give like a look at Broken Promises, like, "I don't know what you're saying, but don't talk to him like that." So yeah, she just like sneers at you, and this woman acts like someone who's like 2 feet taller than she actually is. And yeah, she like kind of stands behind Mahari and like folds her arms and stares at you. Broken Promises.
I'm waiting for an answer.
I said dead is dead. What is the problem?
Where we come from, it is. I don't know.
You
Ramus,
feeling okay, Maharib?
Berg, do you not care for our fallen friend's body? And yes, I'm feeling. That's the second time you've asked me this today.
You're a little emotional, Maharib. That's not like you.
Well, he was a friend.
If
Sorry, he's gone through the change.
If I were to fall, I would not expect you all to risk yourselves for my body. That would be foolish.
Do you think your friend would hold the same sentiment? If it meant that it would threaten your life, do you think your Yota would expect or request you to retrieve his remains?
What if they bring him back? Can they do that here? What if they bring back Yota's soul and he's remade into some abhorrent creature to do whatever they want? Do we not owe that to him to make sure that that doesn't occur?
Well, it wouldn't be him anymore, would it? Just as you are not the same as you were before. And I nod at Amira, just as she is not.
She gives you a look like, "Nod at me one more time, motherfucker. I will break your face."
Yeah, I think when he says that too, I almost am to the point of yelling. I'm just like, if one more fucking person tells me I'm different, I just kind of like stare at everyone after I say that.
I apologize.
You're still
Didn't mean to-
Maharib. You
Calmer
are
head should
changed,
prevail.
though. For the better or worse. Just fact.
Are we going in to find this diviner? If so, I'll split off and find his body on my own. If I don't come back, that's my own fault.
I will try to find his body with you, Maharib.
So are we all agreed that we're going to do this fool's errand before we leave? Because it's going to be dangerous. And I certainly hope it's worth it. But I think that your friend, if they were alive, would tell you to leave without them. But that is not on me to say.
Let's just
What do you
put
know?
all our
You didn't
options
play
on
him.
the table. Let's just put all our options on the table first. Do you know of any diviners yourself? Or where we could find one?
Not by name, but I could find one.
Well, if you know someone that's not locked away in a prison of death, that would be
The great thing is, you're all locked away in a huge prison of death. Welcome to the Court of the Void. That's sort of the whole thing Broken Promise is trying to get away from. I like it. Good. Insightful.
If Yota will somehow come back and be trapped here, I would not want that for him. I
Yeah,
know
me
what
neither.
it is to be
Thanks for giving me
trapped.
that idea.
Look, we're not from this world. You are. So, do you know someone with inside this prison that you can bargain with? I'll give a whole glass of my blood if you could just get his body. I'm sure that's worth something.
I might have a way, but like I said, it's dangerous unnecessarily. But if this is the only way that I can get you all out of the city with me, you won't leave without it. It's like a child who goes back into a burning building to fetch her doll.
Have you not had anyone in your life that you feel strongly for?
They don't die here, Berg. Someone dies, they're brought back the next day. It's
And
meaningless.
as a quick aside, that analogy, let's imagine that you said something like different, because fire doesn't burn in this world.
Oh fuck, that's right.
That's true.
You could
Fire
walk. You
doesn't
could
burn,
walk
okay.
in and out of a burning building as many times as you want at no risk to yourself.
What about like
Oh.
a pool, like a lake?
Yeah, sure. You
Okay,
could say
okay.
like,
So
yeah,
it's-
or like
it's
a
like
terrible
a
storm or
child.
like whatever.
It's like a child who dives to the bottom of a lake to retrieve a doll that she dropped in.
It's a heavy doll.
Yeah, what is this doll made of? Steel? Iron?
Let's just say, for the
When
sake
you-
of argument, a fish swallowed it, a big fish, and took it to the bottom.
Wouldn't matter.
Now, if
Very
we're done
strange
arguing about that,
behavior. Very strange behavior for a fish.
Very fishy.
Very fishy, yeah.
she can't help but like smile at that. That kind of broke the tension. So you see Broken Promises smile at that, and kind of breathe a little bit, just one nice breath, just okay. If we are resigned to do that, and this is the only way, I will use what contacts I have and what influence I have to get us in a position to retrieve. And since we're in the same spot, generally speaking, right? The prison and the place where the dead are in generally the same area.
Well, like the proper dead are taken to the basilica to be tended to until they awaken. Like if anybody finds like a corpse in the street, it's like part of their civic like job to like have the basilica take them away, and the basilica cares for them until they awaken or dispose of their body. You have no idea where in the comedy where they would keep
Okay.
like a they like it's not a body yet, or maybe it is, you don't know, but it belongs to the king, so it's somewhere in the comedy. They probably have somewhere they keep their own dead until they awaken, but
This is what I might have to do, just so you know the weight of the situation. I might have to make or request an audience with some of the royalty of the Divine Comedy. Give up secrets that I've held for countless time in order to get 2 small favors from them. And then I will never be allowed, no. I'll never be able to come back to the city without being hounded by the Basilica and whose name and kneel. The entire force would be looking for me, wanting me dead again and again and again. Just imagine that for a
You're
second.
planning to leave.
Because
Anyways,
this is what you're asking me to do. You're asking me to risk being tortured for however long eternity is. Never come back on a hunch of a vein that we might not find. I just want you to remember that I'm willing to do this because I believe that we can leave. I believe we will never have to come back. But if this doesn't pan out the way we think it is, that's what lies in wait for me.
I don't have to imagine that. I've lived it. Let's move on.
I do not doubt that, my green friend.
We appreciate your effort for which you're going. Please let us know if we can assist at all. Should we stay down here until you come back?
For the time being, I must make some arrangements and contacts some people.
Fair
So,
enough.
no need to be glum about it. Now that we have a course of action, I'm ready to tackle this with open eyes and a clear head. Okay. Well, make yourself at home. I shouldn't be more than... What's the word I would use? Like a day? Like,
cycle.
what would I say?
Yeah.
Cycle.
So a cycle, if we need to think of it in terms of time, yeah, like a cycle is like about 12 hours. It would be I guess it'd be a less auspicious amount of time. It'd be 15 hours because that's 5 3 times, and both 5 and 3 are like bad numbers. So yeah, probably 15 hours is a cycle.
Okay, so a cycle would be fair to say.
Yeah, that's a fairly long time. That's like a day, basically,
Okay,
to
cool.
us.
Cool. I should be back in less than a cycle with word whether it can be done or it cannot be done. So I would advise you to stay here and out of sight. There should be enough food for you all if you eat very lightly. I will see about restocking it if need be, but I'm going to leave right now and try to make this as quick as possible so you're not waiting over long.
All right, we'll be down here. I need a weapon, by the way. I think I've stated that once or twice, but I want to reiterate it.
I need armor if we are to
Where-
fight. Also, I miss Doug.
Where the hell is your sword, Maharib?
What do you mean, my sword? That was lost in the
Thing
fight.
you would never. The big ass sword you never left out of your sight.
I just told you it was lost in the fight. It was not with me when I woke up. Which is why I need broken promises to find me a weapon.
Well, what kind of weapon would you prefer?
Anything, it doesn't matter.
But it does.
An
You
axe,
don't want a dagger, I'm
sword.
sure.
Yes.
Okay. Something big. Something wielded with 2 hands or 1 hand or...
An axe and a shield. That'll do fine.
Axe and a shield.
Yes.
I'll see what I can do. And armor for you is going to be a little bit more troublesome because it has to fit. So I have your measurements already. I'll see about getting someone. You don't make anything easy, do you? I have a feeling that everything from here on out is going to be the hard way, isn't it, with you all?
You found
Yes.
me.
You have no idea.
I'm sure that I don't.
And we all give a
Right.
different answer.
Yeah. All right. I'll be off and I'll return as quickly as I can, but I can make no promises on the armor.
I just
I'll
need
do
a
my
weapon.
best though. I give you that promise. I will do my best.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm off and I leave.
Okay. You leave. As soon as the door is shut, Amira says in Giant, I don't like her.
I think I start to respond in common and then realize, like, oh, she only speaks Giant. So the first part of this comes out in common, but I just say,
She speaks Infernal too, but yeah.
yeah. It comes out. You'll learn to, and then in Giant, you'll learn to appreciate that even if you don't like someone, they're still beneficial.
So we need her then.
For now, yes. This is a test of sorts. If she does get us
Well, I
out of
wish
here
that-
and she does get my friend's remains, then I will consider her an ally.
Is that what that fight was about?
It was not a fight. I lost my temper. We're being rude to my friends.
As you're saying that, Berg's just like, more of this shit.
Yeah. I say that. I apologize. She, like I said, does not speak common.
Weird, Berg. It's like rocks rubbing against each other. So weird.
Yes, is not a very pleasant sounding language. I will give you that, Ramus.
Not to say that Orcish is not so pleasant either. They may
And
be right.
Orcish probably sounds like Klingon, which is like super cool to listen to. There needs to be like an Orcish version of Hamlet.
Gowron is Hamlet.
That's right. Yeah. So she like she sighs, like frustrated, and she says, first thing that we do whenever we get back to wherever it is we're going, I'm gonna try to learn a language everyone can understand, because I'm getting really sick of this shit. So you want to get your friend's body back? Is that how it is?
I'll be a moment, if you don't mind. I'd say that to Berg and Ramus and turn around. And then
She's like, don't be polite to them. Fuck them. Talk to me.
yeah, and then in Giant I respond. Sorry, yes, we're going to find our friend's remains. The elephant that was in that fight, do you remember? He died.
I do.
Yes. We also need a diviner of sorts, which knew you in a past, knows who you are. You were friends once.
Get that a lot.
Yes.
Well,
He might be able to actually
whatever
help
she
us.
said. And she's like, whatever she said that got you all riled up, I'm sorry. If you want to go in there and get your friend's body back from those lunatic clowns, I'm with you. I don't care if it's a stupid idea.
Good. I appreciate that. I'd do the same if well, I am doing the same. It's your friend, but it's complicated. Anyways. How about we start that learning language now? I've never taught someone a language before. This should be fun.
She grins and she looks at you. And she's like, well, you look like you can fight, but looks can be deceiving. You did lose and die, so maybe you're better at teaching than you are at fighting.
Shit.
How does it feel, bitch? How does it feel? Yeah, fucking yeah, get him, Amira, get him.
Like she's like smiling when she says that. She's not trying to be mean. She's just teasing you. Like, you died, so
Yeah.
maybe you're better at other things.
I think I have the look of like anger on my face, but then when I turn, it's definitely like a sly smile. And I don't say anything. I'm just going to get, I guess, Bugfucker's journals in common. Like, that's the only piece of literature here.
Yeah. I mean, you're teaching her to speak common too, so you could just point at objects and be like, chair.
Oh, I guess that's
Berg.
true. Yeah, that would be, again. I think I start rummaging for the book, and then, wait a minute, she doesn't know. Reading is a different skill. His name is Ramus. I'm just
So Ramus,
pointing
you
at
hear like
Ramus.
rumble, rumble, rumble. Ramus, rumble, rumble. And she looks up at you and she kind of squints. You say anything, Ramus?
I look at Berg and be like, and say in Orcish, "Hey, look, Berg, we're having a conversation that people can't understand. Look, yeah. Isn't it great? We can talk and
I
no one
have
understands
to-
what we're saying."
I have to assume. I have to assume, as a North American who can only speak one language properly, is this what living in Europe is like?
Might be, yeah.
Because it feels like it must be.
Yeah.
I continue in Giant. He's probably mocking us at this moment. You could tell by his face going like this, just nonstop. But he means well. The one next to him, and my hand changes. That's Berg. He's a great warrior. I lower my hand as I say that.
Yeah. Okay. And she looks at the two of you, and she points at herself and she's like, Amira. And then she looks at you, Mari, and she's like, "Are they stupid or what?"
This is so complicated. I say in common.
What does Amira mean?
You know, Amira, it's like what you look at yourself in.
I can't believe I'm about to admit this.
Good joke there, Adam.
Thank you.
You know how we said we were not different, Ramus, but she is different. So I gave her a new name, one that would suit her, our ancestry. Her name is Amira now.
Okay. I point at myself, Ramus.
I am Berg. Berg.
Puts his hand down.
Yeah. She's like nodding. She looks at you, Mahari, and she's like, "Great, I know their names. That's useful."
Ooh, this is.
You know what? You know what's really kind of funny about this is that I never noticed before. Maharib is the most book smart. Like he has the highest.
Oh,
int
I'm the
score
smartest
anybody.
person of the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has the highest intelligence in the party. Yes.
Intelligence
Yeah.
wise, yeah. Yeah.
We don't know how smart Amira is. Well, I do, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all kind of dumb. A little bit.
It's a little.
I'm
So
trying to.
D&D characters work. You're either incredibly bad at something or incredibly good at it, and there's no real in between.
Right.
Like, I'm not a wizard, so I have no reason to be smart.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to speak, get her to speak common or learn the language. It's going to be difficult, but she knows your names. It's a starting place.
Berg.
Yes.
I love you so much, Bird.
I say
just,
in
like,
giant.
nods
I say
slowly.
in giant, and I'm just very blunt because I think
Doug.
I think in giant culture there's like very little subtlety. So I just say
Yeah, totally.
Berg's actually quite dumb, but as I said, he is a great warrior. Do not make fun of it either. It is
Does she
considered-
get it? Does she know my name?
I think yes.
So she looks at you, Berg. And she brings her hand up and she touches her sternum and she goes, "Berg."
She touches her chest.
Yeah, she's like, "Berg."
No.
No. You,
Fucking with him.
Amira. You, Amira. Me, Berg.
She nods and she points.
Maharib.
She points at herself and she goes, "Berg."
Why is
She
she
looks-
stupid?
She looks at you, Maharib, and she's like, "Okay, you're not wrong."
Yeah. I just kind of say in common and just say, she's going to fit in just fine. I'm not worried about this one bit.
And I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
and
be
s-
the dumb one.
And so she says to you in giant, Maharib, she's like, "I'm gonna go outside and find something heavy to lift over my head until I'm not bored anymore." And she walks outside. She leaves.
Okay. All right.
So let's jump to Broken Promises because you have an errand to run. Where are you going?
Oh
What
no
are you
no
doing?
no no!
You
I
walk-
have 5 errands to run.
Okay, well we'll do
Hell.
them one at a time. What is the first errand that you run? So you leave your safe house, you cross the yard of the tannery, and head back out into the city proper. What do you do? Where do you? Go?
Since I'm not like wanted or anything, yeah, I can roam around freely.
Correct.
I
You have papers. You were a citizen.
I will attempt to acquire an axe and a shield and some armor for Berg, if I can do that, because that won't give anything
Okay.
away. It's just
Axe and a shield, no problem. What kind of armor do you want to go
Okay.
get for Berg?
Half-plate. Did half-plate. That's what I had before. Half-plate.
Wow, I typed in, instead of typing in half plate into the compendium, I just typed Berg armor.
You know
Good,
how
my
would
brain
work
works
too?
good too. It's really hard role playing as a stupid person. Okay, so I got it here.
It is. It seeps into my everyday life.
You're right.
Berg.
Sometimes
Just,
I feel like it was always there before Berg, and now I'm just letting out the stupid. You know.
being a moron is
Adam.
infectious, apparently. Yeah. Dungeon
Remember that
Master.
shit?
Okay. All right. So let's see how much it would cost in the real world. Are you looking for? I mean, I presume you're looking for just like you don't have the resources to buy magic armor.
no.
But
That would be suspicious as well.
yeah, Yeah, for you to buy
minorly,
it,
but
sure. You have to go out into
Yeah.
gray market and do the thing. Okay.
Yep. So basically, what I'm saying to the people is like I have a new heavy that's going to do some things for me or whatever,
Right.
and I need to outfit him with a sword or with an axe, a shield, and some armor.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. And you've got Mr. Nice Guy's like connections, right? Like he sort of primed people to like he's like I'll dig around because he said he'd help.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Did you roll your money when you made your character?
We did not roll that.
Because you got your magic item.
Yep.
Does anybody remember what I gotta look at my Dungeon Master's Guide here, but does anybody remember what that number was? Like when you made your character, it was like 2D or 5d6 times 100 or something. I can't remember what I was giving out for gold when we did that. There's a table.
That's right.
In the Dungeon Master's Guide.
I can go find the DM's guide real quick if you want me to look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking through mine too. Because it's in the like creating higher than average character level. No, it's not in the player's handbook. It's the tiered thing in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Yeah, I just need to know what chapter that's in. And then I can figure out how much money you would have.
Wouldn't it be like in the
real
tables or
life.
something? In the back.
This is the thing. These books are not laid out well.
I don't remember off
Let
the
me
top
see
of my
what
head.
I can find it. Yeah, there's a section for it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's in the DMG somewhere.
I think page 38 of the DM guide.
38 of the DM guide? Okay. All right. Well, of course, I'm looking at
That's what a
version of this with
forum
page
post
numbers.
says.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. You got it? Okay. So what are your options?
It says low magic campaign, 500 gold plus 1d10 times 25.
Well, yeah, at
12.
but you're
12th level is
you're 11 to 16, so
5,000 gold plus 1d10 times 250.
yeah, so it's a shit ton. But
Mhm.
that's for regular because you get your one uncommon and your normal starting. Okay, so you have a pretty good nest egg socked away. You have the equivalent of 5,000 gold in void coin.
Okay.
And then roll a d10.
Okay.
That's our new crypto too, Void coin.
It is, I know, right? That was my first thought too. You can buy so many blockchains with that thing. Nice. All right, so you're pretty well off, and that suits your character. So you have whatever 9 times 250 is plus 5,000.
1750. So 6750.
Okay. All right. So you have 6,750 equivalent in the void. Yeah, it's probably something like 50 void coins.
Oh, wait.
But they're
2,000.
kind of
That's
like
1250 or 2250. Idiot.
Is it? Okay. 7,250 total. So that's how much gold, quote unquote, you have.
Give me
But really
magic
what it
stuff.
is a cache of void a cache of like void induced coins, these like weird green
Mhm.
coins, and then also like probably crystallized juice, like vials of heroin basically, and what have you. So yeah, if you're willing, you can use the connections that you have through your friend to buy armor. 750 is not so bad when you have it's like a 10% of the money you own, and then you can also buy an axe and a shield for Maharib if you want.
Okay. So
I think
how much?
too, some
How
of
much
that
in
money,
toto do you think?
some of that money is caught up in like real estate and stuff. Like that's not a liquid currency, but if you sold off some of that stuff, that's how much you would be able to get. I think
Right.
that makes
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sense for your character. Like you don't have like a giant pile of gold. You're not like a dragon. Okay.
Right.
What
Yeah.
kind of you want a battle axe, Maharib?
Yeah.
Yep.
He said an axe,
Battle
one-handed, because he wants an axe and a shield. So I'll buy the biggest axe that's I think could be wielded with one hand.
Okay.
And then a
So
nice
that is
shield with
that's
with
a battle.
like
It's a
you
battle
know,
axe.
It's
Yeah.
a battle
a
axe.
flower and a heart on it.
Okay, so a battle axe is 10 gold. A shield, I think, is like 25.
Also, Zeke, it would probably occur to you that I don't have any armor, but I don't need half plate. I don't know if that was already covered. So just like splint mail or something cheap.
I will
would-
say
I would not
say
get you any
this.
armor because you didn't ask for it.
Okay.
Now that we realize Broken Promises has a shit ton of money, if you wanted to take the time and put the feelers out, there is a chance you could get some like magical stuff, some like void, some juice inducted magical armor or weapons or whatever. But it's going to take at least a week. It'll take at least a week to do that. So that is possible, but you know you'd have to like lay low in town for a week, which.
It was
Up
at
to you.
this very moment that Broken Promises realized they wanted to earn the trust of Berg. And what better way to
Shut
do that
up!
than give him a magical set of armor?
Just occurs to you.
Yeah, it does just sure. Yeah, so that's an option. Downtime in hiding is an option if you would like to do that.
Absolutely not.
Fuck.
We're gonna get him armor that works, and then once we get to the other side, we'll get him some really nice shit.
And that's why you'll never be my friend. Never.
Now remember, your money's not going to be worth anything in the other world except maybe to like people
I know.
who are curious. But yeah, just
But that's the thing. That's another thing that I'm just now putting on my shopping list or my honeydew list is exchange my holdings for gems or
Yeah, if
that
those
as
are-
much as I can to get like stuff that I think might be useful or might be valuable on the other side. And also like if it's 1,000 whatever gem, it's a lot easier to carry than like
True.
a fucking, bunch of coins.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 770 gold for a shield, an axe, and a suit of half plate for Berg.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
And Max, you can decide what you want this armor to look like based on like the aesthetics of the void. So it'd be like kind of HR Giger-esque. Like it's designed to look like the kind of armor that a heavy vein hunter would wear, right? So it's kind of like dark and cool looking, but you can kind of think about how you want to have them look. Same with your shield, Maharib, and your axe. Cool. Okay, so you go out shopping in the market, which doesn't take really much time at all.
Yep.
Do you have someone deliver that stuff to your house or somewhere else you want to go and get it from?
No, I actually have them deliver it to the tannery because I want leather fitted to it, to some of the armor, and I'll pick it up there later. That's a lie. But the tannery is a good cover for that because I want them to fit some hide so it's comfortable or whatever. I want a custom job. So deliver it there. They'll know what to do. Tell them it's from me. They'll know to keep it safe and all that kind of stuff. And I'll go pick it up later.
Okay. And where do you go after the market?
Okay. To market. Jiggity jig.
Yeah.
All right. Berg's armor, axe and shield done. Next, I will contact Still Hands, my criminal contact. Still Hands holding a large knife, and ask
So
him
you find
about
you find
being
one of
smuggled.
his operatives in the market, and then you're like,
Take me to him.
yeah, okay, all right, sure. So Still Hands is fairly chummy these days with a group of the Dragon Knights men, basically. They are like jackbooted thugs, and he's been hanging out with them lately. He has a, I guess like a casino maybe that he runs, and they pretty much like markets to that clientele, and I think that's where you find him. So when you arrive at this joint, it's in the Dragon Knights part of town, and this area of opportunity, we haven't seen it yet. As you walk through the streets, it is very very like regimented. There isn't a lot of that sort of like chaotic of just people kind of like out in the streets. It is quieter by magic than the rest of the place. And as you head into this district, Probably you pass through a checkpoint where they like check your papers to just like confirm who you are and stuff,
No
unless you make
ticket.
some effort to bypass that. Yeah, I mean that's the question. Like, do you wanna like avoid the checkpoint and get into this district alone, like without that, or do you legit go through the check?
I honestly don't think like or do I need to be clandestine about meeting with my criminal contact? Because I would imagine that whoever is next up for me, like my immediate superior, I would tell them like I have a contact, but they wouldn't tell like anybody above them. But I would tell like the sergeant, basically, like say like, hey,
Well,
I've got a CI. Don't I mean we keep that under wraps because it helps like the grease. No one talks about the grease that keeps the gears moving. Everybody just wants to see the engine room.
yeah. I mean, I think that if you tell anyone else in the hierarchy, then word does get around. Like other people who serve He Whose Name will also know that you have a connection. But
Okay.
that doesn't mean like this is a personal connection, I think, for you, and you wouldn't have to tell
Okay.
anybody in your organization. The question is just whether you want it to be on paper that you came into this district and then left, right? Like
How okay,
it's just
then my question
there's
is
a
like
trail.
I've met with them before. Obviously, if we have contact, do you think I would like send them a message and we go meet like at like some like off-site location that was not within the Knights district?
He's a contact of yours, but he's not going to go out of his way to like be your best buddy and like meet you somewhere secret, right? He doesn't owe you anything. You just have a deal with each other where you'll pay him for things and he can get you stuff you couldn't get otherwise. So yeah, he would be like, "You come to me. I have a business to run.
Mhm.
You can come visit me and yeah, and see and I can see if I can help you."
Okay. Well, I honestly like I I have faith and confidence in my ability to uh deceive whoever asked me like, "Oh, you were here?" Is like, "Yes, of course I was here." I would be able to
Right,
I
sure.
have faith that I would come up with a reason that would be, reasonable.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go
Cool.
through with papers. I don't want to fucking go through the rigmarole of
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, and so the Dragon Knights or the Prince of Dragons, his servants, they're lawful to a fault. Like they won't take bribes. They look at your papers, and there's no reason to turn you away, so they let you in. And yeah, and so you enter the district and you head for this casino tea house thing that Still Hands is operating, and it's called the Unlucky Cat. And when you arrive, we see why. On the outside, there are kegs, like empty, I guess they'd be like bamboo kegs, with like brewers marks on them, and they're tipped on their side. And there are people like sitting on them outside having tea and talking. They're mostly soldiers, though they're not. Don't think of them as knights in a Western sense. They're not like plate armor and lances. They're more like samurai. So they have like breastplates. They all have swords, and their swords are all very ornate and very personal. And they're all like sitting around smoking and drinking and playing some kind of like tile game. And I think probably when you approach, you get like wolf whistled at, and there's some like cat calls because this is a bar full of like men for the most part, who are soldiers and who are not in the middle of a war, so they're all kind of bored and drunk all
Mhm.
the time. So
And
yeah,
Broken Promises
you walk up
walks
to this
through
place.
uh, gracefully, but also graciously. Like doesn't like shy away from the cat calls. Definitely like
Mhm.
confident. Looks them
Yeah.
directly in the eye and that kind of thing. Like I mean, it's not that she enjoys the attention. She just wants like everybody in the room to know like you can't you can't rattle me.
Right, she's unshaken. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, make a make an intimidation check, and I'll give you advantage. But make an intimidation check as you do this. Make that skill roll.
Okay. Intimidation. There we go. And you said I have advantage?
Yeah, you have advantage.
Okay. 11. Yeah.
An 11. Okay. All right. So most of the soldiers in this place know not to fuck with you. Some of them might misinterpret your attitude. So you walk in, and we kind of get the pan shot up, and above the door of the unlucky cat is its namesake. There is a cat that is nailed to the door frame up above, and it's wriggling around slightly, and it lets out a kind of pitiful moan as you walk under it into the casino. And inside, it's much like outside. It's a 2-level tea house. Down below, there are a bunch of tables with more of these like samurai looking dudes sitting around drinking. This place is much smokier on the inside. They're all like smoking pipes or whatever. And then up above, there's a mezzanine, and you can hear people like shouting and laughing. And there's like private rooms upstairs. Have you been here before?
Yeah, I would say at least once before, but it's been a long time.
So this place used to belong to someone else and be different. It used to be a regular tea house. But
No, I would say I was here when the ownership changed hands to Still Hands.
Yeah. So there's lots of like different rumors about how Still Hands got a hold of this place. But you don't know the real story. Nobody does. But now he owns it and runs the place and operates some of his business out of here. Okay. So you walk into this bar, and I think probably you have a decent relationship with Still Hands and with his staff. So there's a man who normally like comes up to people who come in and finds them a table and like gets them situated. And he comes over. He's this like pasty kind of lick spittle of a dude, and he comes over and he's wearing a kind of ratty like kimono, and he comes over in his sandals, and he looks up at you and he says, "How will milady be requiring a private room or merely a table this evening? We're blessed by your presence."
I think a private room would suit my needs. Thank you very much.
Are you waiting for some company, my lady, or would you like me to arrange some for you?
I believe once I walked in the door, my company knew and will be joining me. So thank you. I will
Of course.
take a drink of your most expensive wine. Give me a glass, and then leave me to wait.
Of course, milady. And he takes you to the stairs. Yeah, wine's a thing. That's fine.
Okay.
He takes you to the stairs. He takes you to the stairs and gestures. Right, there were like sake barrels outside. He gestures upstairs, and you can see that there is a room. All of these rooms have rice paper like shutters that block them off, so you can still hear all the shouting and the clinking of glasses and whatever on the outside. But outside of each room, there's a little lantern, and the lanterns are burning with like juice fuel in different colors to let the serving staff know like what people need and who's in there and who's not and whatever. And there's one where the lantern is unlit, which means there's no one in there. And so he gestures up to it and says, "Please, I'll fetch your wine." And he hobbles off.
I do like this is not my first like whatever clandestine meeting, so I'm definitely going to keep my eye on the exits. Like I know the fastest way to get out. I know that if I get to this point, I can use my cloak to like go to the other side because I know what the other side is an alley or something like that.
Make a
like
that
kind of thing. Okay.
Make a perception check.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay, I will remember that.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you go upstairs and you take in the place, and then you make your way to the room, head inside.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So you sit down at the table, and I think probably that's where we'll go to break, and we'll come back and we'll see what the other three get up to while you're having drinks.
Cool.
Sounds
That
good.
works for me. All right, we will take that break, and we'll be right back with more Court of Swords right after this. We'll see you guys then.